What's good, guys? Fantasy Joe back here with our Week 3 wide receiver rankings, half-point PPR as always. If you have any start-sit questions, leave them in the comment section down below. Don't forget to smash that like button and hit that subscribe button if you want to beat your friends and family in fantasy football. Let's hop right into these Week 3 rankings. I think I mentioned already, start-sits, leave them down below. I'll hit you guys back up. Let me know your scoring format if it's not half-point PPR, standard, or full. But yeah, number one, I got DeVonta Adams facing up against the San Francisco 49ers. DeVonta has yet to get to the end zone. I think this is the week where the levee breaks and he finally punches one in that end zone. I think you'll be very happy with DeVonta this week. Number two, you got Tyreek Hill facing against the LA Chargers. Tyreek Hill is an absolute goon. You're starting him. First one that might be a little surprise, Cooper Kupp against Tampa Bay. The reason he's so high, Tampa is currently giving up the 31st, or I guess how should I say this? The Bucs are giving up the second most points to fantasy football wide receivers. He's going to be working in that slot. I think he'll have a much better matchup because of that. So I've fired up with that 3 spot. He's been Matthew Stafford's best friend so far. Number 4, we've got Stephon Diggs against Washington. 5, DeAndre Hopkins against Jacksonville. Only reason he's down this far is just who knows how long the Cardinals are going to need to throw in that game. Tyler Lockett and DK Metcalf are at the 6 and 7 spot facing off against the Minnesota Vikings, who are currently giving up the 3rd most points to fantasy football wide receivers. At 8, I've got Keenan Allen. I think he's going to have a great game against Kansas City. I think they're going to need to throw, and I think he's got a good chance as a touchdown as well. Number 9, we've got Calvin Ridley, who's gotten off to a slow start, but he's facing the Giants this week. We saw what Terry McLaurin was able to do that to them last week. They don't want to let people run the ball. That's basically their game plan. And I think there's a good chance Keenan can get going this week and have a good game. He had a solid game last week as well. Not Keenan. Calvin Ridley can have a good game this week. At 10, I got Justin Jefferson facing off against the Seattle Seahawks. Seattle's been giving up a good amount of points to fantasy wide receivers. Actually, they're 10th. So they haven't been giving him a ton. But I still have faith in Justin Jefferson and just the talent he is in that offense and the way Kirk Cousins has been playing so far this year. At 11, we've got CeeDee Lamb facing up against Philly. This is a tough matchup, but I think this could be a game where the who am I thinking of? The Dallas Cowboys try to run the ball through the air a little bit because that Philadelphia front 7 has been so good this year at stopping the run. Not saying that will for sure happen, but I think CeeDee Lamb is a top 12 play basically every week rest of season. A.J. Brown I have at 12 against Indy. I think he's going to have a bounce back. He had a really good game against Indy last year. In his game that he didn't have a great game against Indy, he dropped a long touchdown pass, so I think he could get it going this week. 13, I've got Chris Godwin facing against the Rams. Antonio Brown could miss this week. Chris Godwin, I could go back to that super target load he gets in that slot role. I'm firing up Chris Godwin for sure this week. Mike Williams against Kansas City. He's gotten off to a great start this year. He's been getting a ton of target volume. Is a big play wide receiver, touchdown upside, brings it all now. I think he's a top 15 play this week. I'm really excited about Mike Williams long term. 15, we got Amari Cooper as Philly. Same thing as CD. Great receiver, great separator. And I think that there's a good chance that they are throwing the ball in this game because of the matchup with Philly. So next we've got Allen Robinson. He's playing Cleveland. Hopefully he can get it going. Rough start to the season, but I still think he's going to be one of those target hogs. And I'm not worried about... I'm a little bit worried because of Justin Fields. He just holds on to the ball a really long time, but he's going to have to get better. And Andy Dalton could be back potentially as well. Not that that's the best thing for him, but if Justin Fields struggles, then there's some backup plan at least. Mike Evans, I have against 17. I'm playing him in all formats as well. Great touchdown upside this week against the Rams. Only reason he's down a little bit lower is I think he plays more on the outside, and there's a chance he gets Jalen Ramsey, which is obviously not a great matchup, but he can win a jump ball against basically everyone if he gets that opportunity. Number 18, Deebo Samuel is facing Green Bay. He's gotten off to a great start this year. I'm firing him up in that matchup, especially because I think he'll be working a lot in the slot, and he gets those, runs those routes across the middle. He's torched Green Bay before. I think he can avoid Jair Alexander, and I think Kyle Shanahan will be creative in ways to get him to avoid Jair Alexander. 19, Terry McLaurin against Buffalo. Great target volume. Their quarterback, Tyler Heineke, has been forcing the ball his way a bunch, and he's a great route runner, great separator. So I still have faith in Terry McLaurin this year. 20, I've got Adam Thielen against Seattle. This one was tough, honestly. I put him down so low, but I think, this is a game I think could be a shootout. I'd be excited about playing Adam Thielen, even though he's at 20 this week. Let's bring these next 4. Cortland Sutton facing up with the Jets. Had a great game last week. I am firing up Cortland Sutton in all formats. That target volume he's getting right now with Jared Jeudy out, I'd be very excited about him long term. DJ Moore's going against Houston. Looked excellent last week. That's a great matchup. Only reason he's this low is because who knows how long they'll need to throw the ball against Houston, a rookie quarterback, on Thursday night. Short preparation. 23, Marvin Jones facing against Arizona. Had a good week last week. I think they'll need to air it out, play catch-up mode this week. I think he's on his way to double-digit targets in this game. So, yeah, think you can play Marvin Jones in all formats. Julio Jones against Indy. Got a good game last week. They had a touchdown stolen away from him. Similar thing. I have faith in Julio. 25, DeVonta Smith. He's been getting the targets week in, week out. He's facing the Dallas Cowboys this week. Not a great defense. Philly's going to need to score the ball. I still have faith in DeVonta Smith season long, and he'd be a trade low guy. I might go out and try to send a trade in. Another trade low guy would definitely be A.J. Brown. I think you could potentially get him for cheap. I've been sending some offers in my leagues, trying to see if I could get him. 26, Marquise Brown. Marquise Brown's a tough player for me to rake this week because he's playing Detroit. Who knows how many points they're going to score if they're going to need to throw the ball much in the second half. But he's just looked so good to start the year. Has been Lamar's number one target. Obviously, Mark Andrews is there as well, but has been getting a good amount of targets at the wide receiver position. And I think, I'm firing him up this week if I don't have any of these other guys. Deontay Johnson looks like he's going to be ready to go. If he can play, I'm playing him against Cincinnati probably. Just gets too many targets. 28, we got Jamar Chase filling against that Pittsburgh defense. He's still the wide receiver I want the most on the Bengals as of this point. I just think he has that ability to just get better and better as the season progresses. But him and T. Higgins are very close to me. Sterling Shepard is facing up against Atlanta. He's been getting a bunch of targets. Daniel Jones has been liking him a lot. I would keep firing him up, and especially in this Atlanta matchup. 30, we got Brandon Cooks against Carolina. Obviously, he's going to have the backup quarterback, Davis Mills. But he's been getting so many targets, and he's a good wide receiver, so I still think you can play him. If I was a rookie, I'd be throwing the ball his way if I was on that team. 31, T. Higgins against Pittsburgh. He's been getting a lot of targets too. I don't see much separation between him and Jamar Chase at this point in the season, so I'd still be playing him. View them pretty similarly. Odell Beckham is facing Chicago, and he could be the only cook in the kitchen. I mean, obviously they have other receivers, but he could be the head honcho with Jarvis Landry out. Fire him up against Chicago if you need to. Michael Pittman against Tennessee. Keep your eyes on that Carson Wentz situation, but if Carson Wentz is in, Michael Pittman should be in your lineups. I had to hedge a little bit with him at 33, but if Wentz is playing, he should be in your lineups. Corey Davis is facing Denver this week. Don't react too much to last week. He faced that tough New England team that took him out of the game. That tough New England defense. Zach Wilson threw 4 interceptions. Brighter days are ahead for Corey Davis. He's in their trade low. Juju Smith-Schuster against Cincinnati. If Deontay Johnson's to miss time, I would love to fire up Juju. I think he's going to get a ton more receptions if he is out. Kenny Galladay is facing Atlanta. I think this could be the week he gets it going. Atlanta's secondary is not very good. And, this is a matchup where Kenny G could score a touchdown or have 80 yards, I think. Chase Claypool facing off against Cincinnati. It's kind of a slow start to the season, but I think he can get going in this matchup. You have to hope that Big Ben situation as well with all these Pittsburgh Steelers wide receivers. If he's out, I'm probably benching all of them, to be honest with you, except for maybe Deontay Johnson. Will Fuller, the 5th, playing Vegas this week. I think you can fire him up. Tua's not going to play. If Tua is playing, I'd probably play Jalen Waddle here, but he's not. So with Jacoby Brissett, I think you can play Will Fuller against Vegas. They'll need to score some points. Tyler Boyd is going against Pittsburgh. He's the reception guy, that slot role. He's going to be very consistent every week. And then lastly, I've got Robbie Anderson against Houston. He's just been, there's a lot of cooks in the kitchen there. They've got Christian McCaffrey, DJ Moore, Terrace Marshall, and him. They've all been splitting the targets up. DJ Moore and Christian McCaffrey getting the vast majority. But I would definitely adjust your expectations season long for Robbie at this point. If you guys have made it to this point in the video, please hit that like button. If you have any start sits, leave them down below. Hit that sub button. And I'll see you guys next time. This has been Fantasy Joe. Thank you guys for watching.